rocking with you guys as always, man. Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC in the building.
That's right.
The best show for Chicago.
Breeze Nation was good. A lot to get into on today's episode. Is everyone still recovering from the bombshell that was the news that we got yesterday about Drew Dalman? But we got to talk about how the Chicago Bears can bounce back from Drew Dalman's retirement. I promise you the world is not ending. The Bears do have options. On top of that, a very interesting update from out west on where Maxx Crosby's preferred destination is. But with everything that we heard yesterday, can the Chicago Bears find a way to make that happen? And then as eventually Jordan JC will be on with us. He's dealing with a little phlegm this morning. Almost said something wild there to start the show. Dealing with a little phlegm this morning. He'll be on here with us in a few minutes. So clearing the old throat passage out. All that and more on today's episode as Jordan JC will break down who he believes in this rookie class could be an answer. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Big shout out to you guys for tuning in and showing love as always here on a Wednesday morning. I mean, listen, it's it's still a shock to the system. But as last night went on, as the night continues, and I'm still recording other shows, had to do the Chicago Bears podcast with Jason McKee. If you didn't check out yesterday's episode, check it out. I feel like it's a really good insight into the mind of what players are going through. And sometimes when it's over, it's over. It seems like, this is kind of where Drew Dalman was at, where doesn't seem, per any of the reporting that I've seen or anything that I have heard, that this was a massive health issue that needed to be treated or anything. Just seems like Drew Dalman felt like it was his time. And so because of that, the Chicago Bears have a pretty big pivot that they have to make here. And hopefully it's one that they can get done here pretty quickly, because there are a couple of names that I think if you start to look at via free agency, and we heard one yesterday, as Albert Breer talked about with Tyler Biadasz. I went back and I watched tape on Tyler Biadasz. I went back and I watched tape on Tyler Linderbaum. And listen, like, when I look at Tyler Biadasz, just to start things off here, because I think free agency is the obvious answer, right? If you could throw some money at it, let's throw some money at it. The Chicago Bears do save $10 million, somewhere between $10 to $12 million by Drew Dalman retiring. Now, I see people going, oh, you got a little money back on the books. You got a little savings on the. It's not a savings if it's somebody you wanted on the team. But realistically, there are options for you to go to with some of the cap savings that you do have. There's still going to have to be some subsequent moves made here as far as, Tremaine Edmonds and different things like that. But it's not the end of the world as far as the center position. And so I did a lot of research on Tyler Biadasz last night, and I thought that, when you look at him, am I going to say that he's Drew Dalman? No, I think that he would be a little bit of a step backwards as far as the center position. But do I think that he's somebody who can go out there and who can snap the football efficiently? Do I think that he's somebody who can go out there and make an impact on the offensive side of the ball and build that rapport with Caleb Williams? I do. And when you're pairing that on top of what the tape that I'm looking at last year, he's fine. He anchors himself really well. He's still getting some solid push. I felt like in the run game, you know, he wasn't getting that push that we were seeing Drew Dalman get at times. But when you pair that up with the fact that the offensive line around him essentially was dying, the four guys standing next to him essentially were falling over, a la 2024 Chicago Bears. I'm in my room. Everybody on one knee. I think that then you start to go, okay, well, the fact that he is anchoring, the fact that he is holding his guy, that he is making at least an effort to still hold this lineup, I think puts you in a good mindset with a Tyler Biadasz if he were to come in. I thought he did a really good job a couple of times there, just watching his tape, getting out on the edge and being a part of that outside zone scheme at times, really laying into a couple of guys and being a road grader. That's really all you're looking for. And when you put that up with the fact that he could be in between Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson, it doesn't feel like the world is ending as far as the center position for you. Now, the bottom line is, what are you looking to do at the center position? 28 years old for Tyler Biadasz, and you know, probably comes in a little bit cheaper, probably comes in around $7 to $8 million range. I don't think that you would have to, you know, bend over backwards and break the bank to get him. Essentially, you could get a little bit cheaper at the position, but you are getting a little bit worse at the position. The other option that has been brought up a ton, and Tyler Biadasz was in the building, so I led with him. The other option that I watched a ton of film on yesterday is Tyler Linderbaum. And when people go, well, you know, if he's so good, you know, teams don't let centers just go. Why would the Baltimore Ravens just let him go? Why wouldn't they pick up his fifth-year option? They are poor. They are beyond poor. The Lamar Jackson cap hit alone, and this is without adding in Roquan Smith. This is without adding in you know, the talent that they have on that team, the amount of guys that really can make an impact for you on that team. Just Lamar Jackson, his cap hit alone for next year is $74 million. $74 million. I don't know how you don't restructure that. I don't know how you don't try to change that number in some way so that you can keep your starting center. But hey, shout out to you, Lamar. Shout out to you for getting the bag. Shout out to you for changing changing the landscape of the center options for the next 2 years. Lamar Jackson's cap hit is $74 million. He takes up 24% of the cap by himself. So with all that said, I think that you are in a pretty good position here if you are the Chicago Bears to go out and get a Tyler Linderbaum if you want him. Now, what does that do for the Maxx Crosby conversation? We'll have that conversation coming up here, but here's bottom line for me. When you watch Tyler Linderbaum get out on the run, he's a monster. When you watch Tyler Linderbaum get out in pass pro, he's a monster. When you need him to get to the second level, he's a monster. He is 25 years old. He is going to be probably, I saw the 4-year, $90 million, you know, the assessment on what he was going to make. I think that because of where teams are cap wise, you may end up coming in a little bit under that. And because a lot of the teams that were big in on the center market, right, went out and got their center last season, the Chicago Bears wouldn't have been in the Tyler Linderbaum market this year if Drew Dalman doesn't retire. And it would have been one of those players where you go, we're good with what we got, but man, he's a good player to have. A lot of teams did that last season. A lot of teams invested heavily in center last season, right? Just like the Bears did, and Bears came away with Drew Dalman. Now the Bears are back in that market, and there's an available player for you. Do not cheap out on this. Do not cheap out on this. Everything else, you figure out how to make it work. If you want Maxx Crosby, and there are reports that Maxx Crosby wants you, you figure out how to make that work after you fix this. There is a 25-year-old Pro Bowl center that could be added to a line that has Joe Thuney on it, has Jonah Jackson on it, has Darnell Wright on it. You have the enticing factor. Oh, by the way, the quarterback that is available to you is Caleb Williams. You have the enticing factor. Oh, by the way, he's a mobile quarterback, just like what Tyler Linderbaum has played with his entire career. You are at an advantage. I don't know if you're at an advantage to the point where you can say, listen, we can't give you $20 million, but how about we start off here at around 14 and we work you up? How about we start off at this price point and you gain value throughout the year or throughout your career here? But honestly, because of the situation that Drew Dalman has put you in, you actually might be able to upgrade the level of play. And I think Drew Dalman was phenomenal. I think there's an argument that him and Tyler Linderbaum were two of the best centers in football last season. But if you're telling me who do you give the edge to, it's Tyler Linderbaum. If you're asking me who's the better player, who's the guy that you feel is going to be best suited to protect Caleb for the next 10 plus years, well, maybe 10 is crazy, the next 7 plus years, it's Tyler Linderbaum. You don't get that kind of answer every day. The Chicago Bears have gotten that kind of answer in back-to-back seasons. Don't screw this up. Because I know when we're talking about positional value, people are going to go, oh, well, Pat, you know, this is actually more important than the center position, or this is actually more. There's nobody who touches the ball as much as the quarterback on the field. You cannot screw that up. There's nobody who touches the football as much as Caleb Williams. You cannot go cheap at that position. Do exactly what you did last year. Make the big money move. In my mind. JC, you alive and ready? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming into the show the sultry sounds of Jordan JC. As he apparently
Jesus Christ.
He got a little pirate to him this morning, huh? A little Tampa Bay Buccaneer in your game this morning, huh?
Yeah. Drew Dalman threw me all the way off. I was screaming in my sleep last night.
You were like Kendrick Lamar? Dalman! What are your thoughts on the situation, JC? I mean, I'm talking about, Linderbaum versus Biadasz. And because Biadasz was here, listen, both of them have really good tape. Linderbaum's is phenomenal, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a monster. You would actually be getting better at the center position.
That's insane, actually.
With Drew Dalman's retirement, you would actually be improving yourself at the center position. Age-wise, yes, you're spending more, but talent-wise, and you know that he's able to work with a mobile QB. When you hear about the possibility of those two, where do you lean on that?
Well, I mean, obviously, I would want to try to get the best of the best. If you're talking about Tyler Linderbaum versus Biadasz, Tyler Linderbaum is the obvious answer. He's younger, 25 years old, right? And on the market because the Ravens can't afford him. I believe I overheard you talking about the fact that their cap is just, they're in a poor space right now. And so they can't bring him back. It's just not possible because of the insane contract that Lamar Jackson has on the team, the pressure that obviously his salary has on the team.
$74 million cap.
I mean, it's worth it. Lamar is Lamar, but at the same time.
Is it worth it if you can't keep your 25-year-old Pro Bowl center in front of him?
Well, I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, you're actually right. If you can't keep your Pro Bowl center in front of them, and you got the coach already leaving, and they haven't actually won anything, then maybe that was a bad contract.
There's some
in the long
question
run.
marks.
So, but no, for Tyler, like he checks all the boxes. It's insane that you actually get your hole is something that you didn't expect at center, but you could fill it with an even better player immediately. But does that still hinder us from moving forward with other opportunities? As I told you yesterday, I still want to be in on Maxx Crosby, or do we go the route of Luke Newman, or do we do a Tyler Biadasz at a lower contract and still be able to afford other moves that will help this team out in other areas? So for me, obviously, I want to go the best of the best. I feel like this team is in a position where you cannot half-step this because of the progress that they made and that they already ahead of schedule with this team, with this organization moving forward and being a more successful squad. So I feel like this is now the opportunity where you can get a young center that will, like you mentioned, be there for the next 5 to 6 to 7 years, however long, and solidify this line once again.
Yeah, let's hope the Bears can find a way to do that. I think it is interesting the position that they are put in right now, as yesterday, right, was a massive day. We're sitting there watching the odds. I don't know if you were like me. I'm watching odds that Maxx Crosby is going to end up somewhere, and I'm just like, oh, okay, all right, hold on, the Bears are skyrocketing up. And I know there's some people that are sitting here going, well, that's just Bears fans betting Maxx Crosby. Come on, bro, we gotta be smarter than this. It can't, like, the whole world is Bears fans. Everybody in the world now. When we were all alone here in our little slice of Chicago, now everybody in the world's a Bears fan so much that they have bet Maxx Crosby to move that line. I don't buy it. Personally, I don't buy it. I think that more so your odds makers were looking and going, oh, this actually could happen. This is legit. And on top of that, we get a little bit of an update here that I thought was incredibly forthcoming.
Oh, yeah.
As it seems like you could definitely be talking about Maxx Crosby at this point as a favorite to come here, because I'm trying to find, buddy. And I know I sent the screenshot in the WhatsApp. Hold on, give it a second.
Why are you doing that?
Benjamin Albright.
Okay.
Dropped this yesterday on the Maxx Crosby situation. He said his preferred destination, if he got to pick, is the Chicago Bears.
Oh, look at that.
He doesn't know if they could make it work economically there, but the Chicago Bears would be Maxx Crosby's preferred destination. So now you know Max wants you. I would also say we pretty much know we want Max.
I think that's loud and clear.
But how do you make it all work? Now, I thought the greatest tweet that I saw yesterday was Maxx Crosby tweeted out like an eagle and a diamond or something like that. And somebody was like, I don't know what it was. Somebody was like, oh, bird diamond. Sounds like bear down to me. And then the Drew Dalman news broke and he tweeted back at him. He was like, never mind. My center just retired. Enjoy the Jets. I thought it was great.
It defeated already. That's hilarious. No, I personally, first of all, yes, it's very important that a player wants you. That's first and foremost, that he actually wants to be on this team. And
I think we knew that from the podcast.
Yeah, that I was just going to say. I think it was very just ironic and very, very timely that Caleb and Max got together for that podcast. And just like, I mean, the glaze.
It just had a glaze off.
It was the top glaze. Oh, you're the best. You're the best. No. You might go down as the goat of the goats. It's like, yeah, they were definitely like best friends. Like, I'll call you and you call me and we'll call each other.
They definitely had a moment on the pod where it was like, no, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up.
You got your toes in the air twiddling on the edge of the bed.
They were in love on that podcast. That's okay to say.
Hey, I'm fine with it if it
I
means
want
that,
my quarterback in love with his
that's
defense.
fine. Yes, yes,
You know what I
please.
mean? That's okay to say. I love what we saw in that pod because I was just like, well, at this point, if it don't happen, now we got bigger questions.
Yeah.
Like,
What's going on? But no, I do like the fact that first and foremost that matters, and the reason why I think that matters is Max knows what it probably will take in order for the business side of this to kind of come together. And does that mean that Maxx Crosby, because he essentially wants to be a part of a winning team, takes maybe a pay cut, maybe a few less $1 million because
well, you'd
he says,
probably
"You know
have to
what, I prefer-"
restructure him the second he walks through the door, or
Sure.
or you would have to probably extend him.
Hey,
I mean, you don't want to get to yourself to the point where it's like, again, this is kick the can down the road scenario,
right.
but you don't want to have a 35-year-old Maxx Crosby on the team. Maybe he's still balling at 35, and that is, but like, he's 29 now. I believe his contract goes through his age 32 season. Let me double check
3 years
that.
left. Well, 4 years left.
Because he just signed this mug. Maxx Crosby has a 3-year contract worth $106 million, making about 35. So he would be, it goes through his age 32 season to 2029. So if you extend him to try and lower that cap number, I mean, now you're sitting in a position where you're paying him till 35. Like, that's not where you want to be either. Now it could be right. Hey, we're gonna give you this big money, but there's void years on the end. That's a different situation. I would probably rather go the restructure route and turn it into bonuses, but George McCaskey has to be okay with it because now George it's coming out of George's pocket.
Hey, I with all the things that have been going on with the Bears and the fact that they're winning, I feel like George would not get in the way. We talked about that a long time ago about would George get in the way? And we've seen certain moves happen, even certain type of players come on this team. CJ, GJ, that wouldn't be the type of player that George would allow in the past because of
George
the
called him a punk.
Huh?
George called him a punk.
Hey, I like it. Okay, call him a punk, but he's still on this team.
Remember when what was that
when he smacked
the old stupid mug? What that boy name was?
I forgot the guy that had the touchdown.
Javon Wims? Was that Javon
Wims? Wims. There you go.
Yeah, I can't forget
him.
Him.
Out of his helmet, and the guy's looking like, what's going on?
I love my favorite part about that fight is that he taps CJ on the shoulder, like, "Excuse me, sir, pardon me." It's like,
it's just such an
what
annoying.
What did you think was gonna happen? You're wearing helmets.
But my point is, anyway. I think that George McCaskey will get out of the way of certain things like that if it means that this team is going to continue their success in their road to being a championship caliber squad. I think he sees that is the most important thing going forward with the way they started out this past year. And so, look, they got to find a way to make it happen. I think that Maxx Crosby would be willing to negotiate, whether it is restructuring, whether it is kicking the can down the road and making this possible to get the center position addressed and the defensive end position addressed. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think to me, like, when bottom line on all of this, if I had to have my pick, give me the center. If I have to choose one or the other, right? Like, here's the bottom line for all of this to me. If you're doing anything, focus on center. Focus on getting me the best guy that's going to be with Caleb for years to come. Did Linderbaum or Biadasz go to Stanford? I just want to make sure we're not going to see somebody.
Linderbaum went to Iowa.
Okay, all right, okay. He's going to be here for a while. He may play till he's 46. Yeah. Like, that's how the Iowa must get up. So I would love to see a Tyler Linderbaum out there. Stanford, you gotta be careful. They're a little too smart for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're like, I got my money, I'm out.
And that was the other thing I was going to ask you is, do you think, with all the speculation around why he chose to retire, do you think it was a matter of him just getting his money? Because I think Tom Thayer even mentioned that on the Thomas Waddle and Sylvie show.
Thayer talked about it a little bit, and it seems to be, and again, the reason is not known yet, but it does seem that what is being alluded to without saying it up front is that he just felt it was time. And listen, I talked to J-Mac about it. You know, he talked about his last year in Philly. I'm sorry, his last year where he ended up going to Baltimore. I talked to Waddle about it. He talked about his last year where he ends up going to Cincinnati. Like, these are guys that got up every day and lived to go to war. And it was like, by that point, like, you're taping yourself together to get to practice on Wednesday to start the season. You're not even trying to get the Sunday. You're just trying to get the Wednesday. And it was like, once that love is gone, you gotta, it's just not there for you. And the logical thing to do is to leave. And now you have players that are making more money. Now you have players that are getting more opportunity there to make money quicker, right? Waddle and J-Mac was a fullback. Fullbacks aren't making, $50 million a year. And so, it took a little bit more for him to go out there and try and keep himself on that field till he couldn't. Waddle played in the 80s. They didn't pay players. Like,
he was just getting killed for pennies. Yeah.
You wasn't poor, right? Like, you were making more than the average Joe going to work every day.
Right.
But it's not like you were making life-changing for the rest of your days money. And so because of that, right, like they played a little bit longer. Some guys played. Tom Thayer talked about one of his teammates that just went out there and was like, I'm playing until I make enough money to get out. I don't love football. I don't want to be out here. It makes no sense to get hit.
Yeah.
If I can make money and not get hit, that'd be great. I just want to make sure that we're set before I leave the game. So, like, I think that it probably is more of a conversation around that of just like, if you don't have it anymore, how you gonna play center and you don't love the game?
Yeah, you gotta have a passion.
And I'm not saying he doesn't love football, but like, you have to love being out there.
Yeah,
you have to want to be on that field every single day, and he played every down of the season last year. So like, that's a lot. So I kind of, from the player aspect of it and talking with players that have done it, I get it from that from that aspect. You gotta love it to be. It ain't basketball.
No, it's not basketball. Here's a little nugget that I actually and I'm using the word right.
There we go.
You guys thinking I didn't know what that meant, but whatever.
I mean, listen, you instantly went to we talking about a Chick-fil-A. We talking about
joke with you guys anymore. No, but there's actually a tweet that I saw the other day from Aldo Gandia from Barroom. And this was very interesting, and it might even actually kind of shed some light on how much better we can actually get at the center position. And even though technically Drew Dalman was a Pro Bowl center, we can do better. And it says the retirement of Drew Dalman is significant, but let's remember he was never elite despite making the Pro Bowl. Dalman had a rough game, the last game versus the Rams in the playoffs, as reflected by his 44.1 PFF rating. For the season, he allowed 31 pressures, which was tied for third most at the center position. And so there's a real chance that the Bears could get better at center. So maybe this is kind of like a blessing in disguise. And obviously, I wouldn't have minded moving forward with Drew Dalman. He did what he did enough to make Caleb better in his second year versus his first year. We're not, crapping on him, but you can get significantly better than your Pro Bowl center you just had, which is saying something. And so, again, just keep that in mind, Breeze Nation, that we can actually improve vastly from Drew Dalman.
I think here's what I hate, and it's no disrespect to anybody that does it, but like, nah, it kind of is. Don't let somebody leave the room and then you want to down them on who they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's always my thing. Drew Dalman was top 15 in penalties allowed last season, in a season where everybody was jumping off sides. He had 3. He was 11th in the league. He was 12th in sacks allowed. He gave up 1 just because there were so essentially he was tied for second in sacks allowed, but like there was a bunch of dudes that had 0 and then it was 1.
That's true.
He was 6th in hits allowed last season. And I'm not saying some of that isn't Caleb Williams, but we loved Drew Dalman while he was here. And then when he leaves the room, I see a bunch of people that are like, well, actually, he wasn't even that good. You didn't really. Well, he was great in the run game. They had great push. True. They had the best run game in football. He was a part of the best offensive line in the NFL last year. In fact, he was heading the best offensive line in the NFL last year.
That is true.
But he wasn't that good all of a sudden. I hate when Muzz do that. Like it is disrespect. Like I hate.
Okay.
It's the same way that people treat Kobe now, and it pisses me off because he ain't here to defend himself.
That's crazy. No,
it's the same way that people treat Jordan now because Jordan don't speak on certain things. It's like the second that person's not in the room, you want to down them to make yourself feel better about the decision that has to be made. No, he just left. He was really good. It's a reason we all felt like it was a gut punch. Well, is PFF great? Well, when I saw him on the field, he laid somebody out.
Oh,
so that DeAndre Swift could run through that gaping hole up the middle.
I love Pat the Defender.
It annoys me that this is what fans always try to do. They did the same thing with Ayo Dosunmu when he just got traded. Did the same thing with Kobe White when he just got. Well, you know that like you love these Muzz when they hear, and sit here and argue to your last breath when they hear. The second they leave, well, you know, actually, per his advanced analytics, I didn't even like this guy. He actually sucked. Shut up, bro.
Well, you know what?
Saying that as he was road grading people out of the way. You wasn't saying that as he was laying mugs out. You wasn't saying that as he was protecting your quarterback and not face down back up like the dude that was in the city the year before.
Oh, hello, Coleman.
Well, per his PFF numbers, he was arguably the second or third best center in football last year.
Yeah. Very good run block. Great. Yeah.
But you want to pick the specific one. By the way, 33rd in pressures allowed. He allowed 24 last season per PFF. And by the way, I don't think PFF know anything about football, but I also have eyes. You know what PFF said about Braxton Jones? Yeah, that's cap.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't beat your chest about PFF on one and then try and sit there and stand up for it on another position. You use the numbers, but you also use your eye.
That's respect. I respect that. Yeah. Yeah. I respect that.
So like, and by the way, Tyler Linderbaum is better. Like when I watch him, I'm like, he's younger. He's got more upside. He's better.
You still show respect for the guys that can even out.
But you don't got to disrespect Drew Dalman leaving the room to pay homage or show love to the guy that you hope is coming into the room. That's just weak. That's a weak mentality. That's a weak mindset. And I hate when people do that.
Well, we won't be mentioning those type of guys anymore, I guess.
And it's the thing. Aldo cool. He cool. I mess with the show. I mess with Barroom, all of that. As soon as I saw that and everybody... The thing is, our words have power when we in this space. So when we tweet stuff out, there's a section of people that are gonna take that and be like, "Well, this is the narrative that now is out there." Like, understand that, bro. That mess. Yeah, that hurt myself.
Good point. No, I respect that. So moving forward, that's the kind of we got to give him his flowers. Then I respect that.
But Maxx Crosby, no. My fault. I did snap on that a little bit. I apologize.
No, hey, I get
apologize
it.
Everybody out there. Sorry to the fans. But no, bottom line of it all, I'm headed into this offseason. Center is my number one priority. Center is what I'm spending the most on. If you can find a way to get Max in here while doing that, great. There's restructures that can happen. You sent the thing last night. I had talked about it before when I said, we could get Maxx Crosby and have our cake and eat it too. I don't know if I have the image on here still, but I had broken it down to where, a couple restructures. We're moving on from Tremaine Edmonds. And because of certain restructure, now also guys got to agree to the restructures. But if you want to restructure a Montez Sweat, if you want to restructure a Cole Kmet, or even at this point, like, listen, Ben Johnson loves Cole. You can extend Cole Kmet and be very good heading into next season. Here it is. Hold on, let me drop this in here. You can extend Cole Kmet and be very good heading into next season. This was before the Bears were under the cap, but this is a number that is very real that the Chicago Bears could get to while Maxx Crosby is on the team. This is a number that is very real that the Bears could get to. $37 million under the cap. You still got to bring back a Kevin Byard, but you have the money to go out there and do these things. I believe it was restructuring Maxx Crosby, restructuring Montez Sweat, and restructuring Cole Kmet for you to get to that number. But those are things that you could do. Those are things that if everybody's about winning and getting the job done, that you could do. I'm fine with that, but you got to get the center in here.
So is that with the idea?
Is
that with the idea that we still have enough to go after the best center, or at least a Tyler or a Connor McGovern?
Well, essentially, what that would end up being there, and you have to hit through the draft. You have to hit through the draft.
Yeah.
But what that would end up being there is. You trade DJ Moore for Maxx Crosby. You're sending whatever the draft capital is. Maybe it's a first and a second. Maybe it's 2 firsts. Whatever you can try and get it down to. When you bring him in, you have to then restructure Montez to get you further down, restructure Cole to get you further down, restructure Max to get you further down. That would create where you have that money, but you also have that $37 million. With that $37 million, you still got to pay Kevin Byard. You still got to probably bring back DeMarco Jackson at a decent number, and that would leave you enough money there with that 37 for you to go out and try and sign a Tyler Linderbaum, and it creates enough cap space for you. But again, that's about what the organization wants to do. That's about how much do you want to kick the can down the road, and can you make sure that you're not doing it in the same year where Caleb Williams is going to have to get paid as well. All of that factors in. And so it is like there's these, you look around and you're like, there's all of these options for you, but it truly depends on the direction that the organization wants to go. And if George McCaskey's in on paying Muggs bonuses and taking out of the, sure. But the first thing that needs to be done is Caleb needs his guy in front of him. That's the bottom line for me.
Yeah.
And to me, you go best name available.
Well, then we're going to be paying Tyler Linderbaum the highest paid money for a center then. And I'm fine with that because it lines
also,
up.
Willie Lampkin with the comment as well. You also could save some money trading Tyson Bagent. That is very true on that as well.
And he's getting some attention.
Here's the thing. There's ways for you to create cap. It's just about how much do you want to do it? How all in are you ready to be? And this is a conversation we had when you weren't on the show on, was it Monday? Monday.
I remember. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
If you feel like Caleb Williams is that guy that's ready to take that next step, is going all in an issue? Because the last cut, Drew brought up the Jay Cutler situation. He brought up the Khalil Mack situation. You were going all in to try and find the quarterback, and you were going all in while you didn't have the quarterback. You feel like you have the quarterback. If you feel that Caleb Williams is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC next year, then yeah, take a big swing. Yeah, you're going to go all in. Yeah, you're not going to have a ton of cap space. Welcome to being a winning football team.
Here's my thing. 2018, the Bears went all in and got Khalil Mack. And at that time, they didn't have anywhere near a complete team. They didn't have a better coaching staff, in my opinion. They didn't have a better organization and a better culture. You have all of those things, and it's only getting better because it's only year one we're into this. You're going all in my opinion. Like, why not? And I trust Ryan Posen again. I trust them to pick that. This is where your draft is important, because if you're going all in, you have to hit on the draft picks that you do have for the future, for the cheaper contracts, and for them to have an impact on this scene. So if you get your Maxx Crosby and you get a Tyler Linderbaum, and then you address linebacker because Tremaine is gone, and you address, safety because Jaquan is gone in the draft, and left tackle because Ozzie Trapillo is hurt.
Yeah.
And he won't be ready at the beginning of next season. So
won't be ready midway through next season, probably.
And so you have to hit. This offseason is going to be pivotal in that aspect, that you have to hit on all of your decision makings. And so it again, it's good to go for the best, but we know history shows that always doesn't work out. However, I feel like this is as complete of a team outside of those few holes that need to be filled, where if you do address it, then we could be talking about, again, a championship contending Bears squad for the next 3-4 years.
Yeah, and bottom line is, listen, you're pairing these guys up with Ben Johnson. You're pairing these guys up with Dan Richard. You're pairing these guys up with Dennis Allen, right? Like, you're putting these guys in. And Teron Armstead said it. He was like, this Maxx Crosby move has Dennis Allen written all over it.
Bro, come on.
Like, this is a move that I think makes perfect sense for the Chicago Bears. And listen, and to a certain point, it does. But it makes sense if Caleb Williams is that guy. It makes sense if you look at Caleb and you go, bro, he about to become Matthew Stafford next year.
I think he proved that.
Well, listen,
I think he proved that in
59%. We gotta get to about 65.
Right. The accuracy does.
We get to about 65. Not because to me, you get to 65, he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, because of the stuff he's already doing. You get his percentage up. That's insane. That means he's completing more of the easier passes. He's getting better already with the deep ball accuracy. Like he's taking what the defense gives him. Those few just off script plays will look even better. And a lot of the times the accuracy, or rather the completion percentage, is half on him, but also half on wide receivers dropping balls, not completing their routes, or not being in the area that they need to be in when he's throwing the ball.
Yeah.
And so all of that can get cleaned up if everybody's on the same page. I could easily see him being at that 65 range very soon.
Yeah, listen, I think that there's a real conversation on it. He understands that he's getting something that no Bears quarterback has had. Really, I guess Jay had 2 years of the same guy, but really since Rex, maybe even before that, maybe since Kramer. Like, Bears quarterbacks don't get second years with offensive coordinators.
Yep.
Caleb Williams comes in the next season. Now he's going to have a new center. There's going to be somebody new in place that he's going to have to work with. But Caleb Williams comes in the next season knowing the checks, knowing the calls, all the things he didn't know this year. That once he started to figure them out, he got real dangerous. By the way, you can still not know a ton this year. My favorite thing is Pat Mahomes was 2 Super Bowls in and went, I get Andy Reid's system now.
Mm-hmm.
What you mean?
Like, you
already didn't understand it?
Twice. Just off of pure
but that's how it goes, bro. Like, we sit here and we think like everybody is this like cerebral genius and it just clicks one day and you understand everything. No, it's still stuff you be like, oh no, I'm confused on it. Like, he mastered the system after 2 Super Bowls. My favorite one is Brett Favre going, what's cover 2? Oh no, what was it? He went, what's a dime package? Brett Favre was winning games in the NFL, didn't know what the difference between dime and nickel was. Now, his response was very Brett Favre. Who gives him? You just throw it over him. And maybe that's why there were so many interceptions in there. But it's going to take Caleb time to master the system. But he's going into year 2 of this, and nothing is changing as far as the play caller. That's a big difference. And so I do think it affords you a little bit more. It's just about how much the Bears are willing to spend. Now, you did break down a cheaper option for the Chicago Bears yesterday, one that I thought was very interesting. The video dropped late last night. If you guys haven't checked it out, make sure to check it out. But a rookie center that was on your radar.
Yeah.
That you feel could be the Drew Dalman replacement.
Yeah.
Via the draft. What are your thoughts on the rookie center? Who is it, and why do you feel like he could step in and replace Drew Dalman right away?
Well, one, we talked about Tyler Linderbaum and him coming from Iowa. This is the other Iowa center, I believe, that replaced Tyler Linderbaum when he left, in Logan Jones, 6'3", 299 pounds, senior. Obviously, massive experience there, was a huge leader, was a part of the best line in college. They got that award. I can't remember the exact name of the award, but part of that best line. And Iowa is a program that is known for just pushing
Creating
out
linemen.
great linemen and creating, really, really sound linemen. And Logan Jones, to me, he's undersized. The only concern for me about him is his overall collective size. He's, again, like I said, 6'3", 299 pounds is on the lighter side, and his hands are also short. But that's it. Everything else, he is one of the most elite.
He is Drew Dalman, essentially. Although Drew Dalman had big hands.
He
You
is
saying his
one of
arms
the
are
most,
short?
Yes, he is.
His arms are short. Okay, he's Drew Dalman.
Let me see,
It's
30 and 3/4 arm length.
Yeah,
30 and
short.
3/4 arm length. And
How big are those hands? Because Drew Dalman had them like Wreck-It Ralph hands.
Well, as a positive, he plays violently, and so he does know how to push the pile. He's violent. He knows how to get to the second level, and so the most important thing for me with Logan Jones is he is very elite in pass protection. He can mirror rushers and linebackers that are coming in on blitz schemes and trying to attack the quarterback. Very good at trying to stop and like I said, mirror the double moves from certain rushers and tackles on the interior. But he only allowed 1 sack in 2 full seasons at Iowa. And I think that is extremely impressive because you're talking about being in a conference that is all about grit and running the ball and tough yardage in the Big Ten. And so, again, that's why I have faith that his ceiling and I think that he can be very, very good. I think he can be a Pro Bowl center as far as his ceiling. He is someone who is very, very athletic. When he went to the combine, his relative athletic score was high. And so for now, he initially was projected to go in the 4th round. I think because of his athletic scores, he had a 32-inch vert for a center. He had a 4.940, so it was under 5 seconds. That was impressive. So for me, I feel like now he might be projected because you know how it is when you get to the draft, people kind of rise and fall. I think he's going to be in the 3rd round. So the Bears have a real chance at getting this guy and plugging him right in, whether he's going to compete with the Luke Newmans. If we don't go the Tyler Linderbaum route or the Tyler Biadasz or Connor McGovern, whoever at center in the free agency, then I think he can be the answer. And you pair him up with the Dan Richard, he's someone who will continue to help him improve. You can improve your weight. Like you get stronger during the offseason. Yeah. Those are things that you can improve. You can't improve the hands or the arm length. You can't improve the height, obviously. But that has never been a problem. When you put on the tape, dude is a monster. He plays all the way through the whistle. And again, like I said, he protects his quarterback. That is the most important thing for me. He's okay in the run game, but he's not poor. He just needs to continue to improve his footing when it comes to the run game and knowing how to block those massive rushers and those massive interior nose tackles and defensive tackles that are of the 350-pound type, prototype. So that's the only weakness for him, but I love a Logan Jones.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Logan Jones seems very interesting to me. Started all 13 games at center. I think that what stands out about me watching him that I think is, very Drew Dalman-like is he knows how to use what a rusher is doing against him, right? He knows kind of the countermeasures. Now, it's very different at the NFL. Very different pass rushers, much bigger. The question that you have to ask yourself, though, is do you feel lucky, punk? No, the question that you have to ask yourself in that situation is, do you feel like Caleb Williams is far enough along in the system for you to draft a rookie center? Do you feel like putting a rookie center between Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson is enough to negate some of those rookie issues that are going to happen? Because this is the guy that touches the ball as much as Caleb Williams. Terry Dr. Pop said, can I interest you in Josh Kreutz from Illinois? No. No, I'm good. By a lot. If you look at what the Bears currently have, I would rather go the veteran route
Right.
But if you feel like we can't go in here spending the money that spending all of this money, restructuring all these contracts, then I do understand the rookie route. But if you go to rookie route, I would love to see some competition brought in, going the rookie route that is a veteran, maybe a little bit of a lower money veteran in that situation. Maybe that's a situation where you go with the Tyler Biadasz and you have your guy waiting in the wings. But remember, where's Logan supposed to go? Early second round?
No. He's projected to go, well, initially it was around the 124 range. I think because of his combine results.
Yeah.
His stock will probably rise, I would say early third, mid third round. And so the Bears have a chance, if they do their homework on him and a little extensive research, that they can definitely get him in that round.
That would be a situation where, so like, even for me, you're probably in my mind taking him in the second, because your third round pick is late in the third.
You want to make sure you get him. Yeah.
You want to make sure you get him. If you have him waiting in the wings and you sign a stopgap veteran, that's not a Tyler Biadasz though. Like, again, you're going 3 years in a row where Caleb Williams is switching his center around. I hate that, but I do love the possibility of Darnell Wright is 26. At that point, Ozzie Trapillo's 24, and you've got a rookie center. You still got two pieces on your line, and Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson. Joe Thuney, of course, a little bit older, but you can slide Jonah Jackson to that left guard spot where he was a Pro Bowler at, and address right guard moving forward. Or maybe you already have that in Luke Newman on the roster. I could live in that conversation. I think you have to. I hate swapping center 3 times for Caleb.
Yeah, I get it.
I hate that part. But I do love the potential of what the youth could be moving forward with that offensive line, because now you're talking about an offensive line that could be together for, hopefully, if no one retires, 6-7 years. And it's mostly made up of younger players.
I think for me, I love the idea of a Logan Jones, again, going back to his leadership. And as you mentioned, him being a permanent captain and a team captain for those 13 games.
Yep.
I think that really goes kind of overlooked by a lot of people, because that can translate, I think, very well to an NFL huddle.
Yeah.
And commanding your troops. And obviously still, again, being on the left side, you have Joe Thuney, who is one of the best guards to ever do it. And then Jonah Jackson, like, you're going to continue to develop as a center as well. And I just think, again, the program itself, they prepare those guys when it comes to the line to be beasts at the next level. I forget who we had from, I think, wasn't it James Daniels last time that we tried to develop?
Yeah, we did have a James Daniels.
He was okay for it. I remember the height of James Daniels was he could stop Aaron Donald one-on-one.
Yeah.
Remember he had that game where it was like, oh, he's holding his own against Aaron Donald. I think he was at guard at that time.
He was fine.
Yeah, he was fine. But I mean, I like their offensive line prospects. Obviously, Tyler Linderbaum being one of them. As you can see, he's about to be the highest paid center for a reason. So
yeah.
Hey, if you go that route, then there's a chance that he will pan out, in the future.
Now, here is my only issue with a Logan Jones versus a Tyler Linderbaum. My only issue.
All right.
Logan Jones only a year younger.
Yeah, he's 24. He clearly played all of his years.
He's only a year younger.
Yeah, he is an older.
I'll pay that money. I'll pay that money for Linderbaum over that.
That's a good point.
I don't really have time for you to sit for 3-4 years.
That's if you don't get Linderbaum.
That's if you don't get Linderbaum, right? Yeah. Like, I would rather, but I'm saying if I'm ranking it, right, give me Linderbaum. Give me, number one thing, give me Linderbaum or Biadasz. Veteran center. Guy's done it well. Put him in between two veteran guys. I like a veteran line.
Right.
I would go Logan Jones probably as a second option there. Like, if all else fails, you go a Logan Jones and just say, hey, we're starting to, because I think the thing is, at 24, I'm looking at him and saying, Bet, I'm getting you in the second round. You're on a 4-year deal. You're going to be on a 3-year deal. I'm paying you at 28 for what? 4 years, hopefully, of that on big money deal.
Yeah.
Like I would rather have the veteran over the rookie in that situation. So we'll see what ends up happening. I think that the Bears, here's the best part about this, Bears fan. Bears have options. This is not a year where we're looking around going, oh God, what are we going to do? I mean, how do we replace one of the best centers in football? You can replace it with one of the best centers in football. You actually can replace him with arguably the best center in football.
Yeah.
That's a good situation for you to be in. Versus what we've seen in years past where, you know, the Packers end up with who's he, what's it. But hey, man, let us know how you guys feel in the comments below. Let us know if you think that there is an opportunity. Max wants to be here. The Bears want Max. Can they make Max happen and address the center position? Or do you go cheap at center and just try and stop gapping and go with the rookie route of Logan Jones? Let us know how you guys feel in the comments below. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. For Mr. Media himself, who is dying a little bit, we'll let him rest that voice. Jordan JC. It is your boy Pat the Designer back. A nap. It's 7:56. Wake up! It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love.
Gotta get my sleep, man.
I feel like all you do is sleep.
Hey,
you're like a sloth. Hey, he's awake. We lost him again. There he goes.
Whatever. Ugh.